Hi guys, Shauna Smallwood here. I just wanted to tell you how excited I am that I've finally published my book, Letters to the Soul, The Guide to Spiritual Awakening, and it's available on Amazon now. Last week's video, I did an introduction video on YouTube, and then I did lesson 1, or I guess week 1, whatever we're gonna call this here, on Vimeo. But when a friend of mine was really interested in watching the video, I told her not to purchase it, not to purchase the rental, and to wait until I published the book next week, which is today now, because I would then post that video link for free to go with the book kind of release. So I'm really excited. This past week has been crazy. My son came into town with one of my best friends, and we just had a blast. And yesterday I was so tired. I had bags under my eyes. I could not even think straight to even begin to get back to work. Not to mention I cried at the airport when I dropped my son off. I'm such a wimp. So hopefully he'll be back. We had so much fun, and the beaches here are so beautiful. It's kind of hard to not want to come back. I totally created a lifecation for real. Okay, so getting down to business again. You could probably see, I am so excited that I finished the book, got it published. I had to redesign the cover, which I wasn't too happy about because I am not too savvy at graphics, and I couldn't resize the original one. So I used the original cover that I created a couple of weeks ago for the Kindle version, and then had to go through and recreate the cover to the book that's actually printed. So I like the Kindle version, the original cover to the book, way better. Okay, so let's get down to business. This week, I know last week I had discussed that I wanted to get into the section of the book which talks about ego, but really, I think we need to go into healing a little further, and I wanted to actually do a demonstration for you, but I'm recording this inside, and the demonstration would have to literally be writing something down on a piece of paper that has hurt me in the past, and then burning it, letting it go, just writing it down on a piece of paper. Chapter 1 talks about this, burning it and letting it go. I call it the exorcism in the book, the exorcism of negative emotion. Because if you've been following along at all, you know that the first video I talked about, and my entire book is about how we're living on cycles of negative emotion. And over and over and over again, we repeat the same emotion, whether it's good or bad, because our ego tells us that's where we're safe. So when our ego lies to us, it's telling us, stay safe, stay afraid, because that's where you're safe. You're safe in this mode. You've been here all these years. Why change now? That's kind of what the ego tells us. So I want you to follow chapter 1 if you purchase the book. The lesson is definitely to write down everything. I think that was your homework actually from last week. Write down everything that had hurt you, and because I'm a couple of days late on shooting this video, hopefully you've done it. You have to do this alone if you're going to do it right. I'm just going to put that out there, because you're going to cry. When I did this, I was bawling my eyes out. I had so many bad things that I had to clear that have happened to me. And, if I jumped on Facebook and logged in as somebody else, I could probably see some more bad stuff. I mean, there's just some really negative people in the world. And we're going to talk about that for a little bit, for a minute. for just a quick second, actually. I don't even want to give it that much time, to be frank. When people gossip about other people, and there's a whole section in my book about this too, the social circle and gossiping. When people gossip about other people, the only thing that a wise person would hear, somebody smart, the only thing that they would hear if they heard somebody talking about somebody else in a negative way, an awakened person or even somebody authentic would think to themselves immediately, this person is jealous of the person they're talking about. And for some reason, the person that's doing the gossiping or the lies or sharing their own opinion of an individual, knowing that, or thinking, I don't even know, I'm not even going to give this person credit enough to even think that they know it's hurting my children, for some, on some of the things that are said on social media are hurting my children. And this person is friends with my children's father. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So their ego, when they're saying these things about, whether it's out loud or on social media, their ego is telling them that I am really this thing, or I am really what they think, whatever they said, okay? And it's just not true. It's just not true. But their ego is telling them, because maybe there was, a situation where they were possibly dating somebody in the past that made a comment about me, or, and this person ended up being jealous from that point forward. So it didn't matter, what happened from that point on. The scar hurt that person's heart so bad, and I had nothing to do with it. The scar hurt that person's heart so bad that they just found it that, their ego's telling them that I'm a bad person just to make themselves feel better. And then they go and share whatever the lie the ego is telling them. Which, again, when I hear somebody gossip about anybody, I usually, and those people that know me will confirm, I nip it in the bud. You are not going to stand here and talk to me about somebody else. It goes against my values. You're just not. You're not going to talk to me about, you're not going to gossip about, just the petty stuff girls do. You're not going to talk to me about somebody's raggedy clothes. You're not going to talk to me about somebody's, hair. You're not going to talk to me about somebody's nasty divorce. You're not going to talk to me about somebody else's business. You're not going to talk to me about how somebody looks. It's shallow. I mean, come on, people. You're not 12 years old anymore. I have a 13-year-old daughter who behaves better than you. Seriously. It's enough. Enough is enough. Like, for real. Okay? All right, so just throwing it out there, there's got to be people that stumble across this video where they know who I'm talking about. It's like the mean girls. It's like the people, the clique of girls that hate that one chick together. They just gang up and hate them. You know who I'm talking about. So if that is you, this book is for you, because it's going to help you heal your ego, so you'll stop looking like a fool. You stop it, because an educated person looks at the person that is telling the lies or gossiping like, wow, I really had no idea you were like that. Like, it doesn't make you look very good. And it definitely screams to the rooftops that you need to be, you need to heal from whatever situation made you hate this person. Hating is very unattractive. Jealousy is very unattractive. I want to help you. Even if you're doing it to me, I want to help you. So hopefully we don't have to talk on the telephone, but hopefully you're seeing this video from afar, or maybe somebody sees this video and shares it with people that they know gossip and spread lies about people for absolutely no reason. Once you hit a certain age, usually it's 30, people have children. And social media is wide open. So if you care about the well-being of any child, you will refrain from gossiping and saying brutally nasty gossip and lies on social media. Okay? For the people that, some of the people that I'm talking about are in their mid-40s. Okay? I'm speechless. I'm speechless. Okay, so I just wanted to throw that out there because I know that there's got to be somebody in the world that watches YouTube that might come across this video, or maybe they read my book and now they're subscribed to the YouTube channel, and they're like going through some sort of dark tunnel because they've got this sort of negative, drama vibe following them, which I just, that's enough. I put a stop to it. It's not going to affect me anymore, but there's millions of people out there that behavior is hurting, and their children, okay, their ability to feed their children. Some of these people are in sales. You guys are just off the chain with this crap on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. Like, why? Okay, I'm done. I've said enough. I've ranted. All right, let's move on. Okay, so I wanted to go over the self-sabotaging, limiting beliefs that your ego tells you, because a lot of the things that you need to heal from, which if they're on your list, you can literally look at bullet number 1 and say, what is the lie that my ego told me that made me react to this pain? So for example, if somebody cheated on you, and you were, in bed for 2 days crying over it, and you really loved this person with all you had in you, and they cheated on you, they broke your heart, and this is on the list. I'm just using this as an example. And then right beside that, you're gonna literally think about what was your ego telling you while you were going through that pain. Okay, so your ego told you, if somebody cheated on me and broke my heart, I know what my ego would tell me, my old ego. It would tell me, like, literally, this person is a bad person. This person doesn't deserve you. This person, they might be true if he cheated on you, right? Or he or she. This person, and then you'll start making excuses. So this person likes smaller women or men. This person, the other girl or the other man is smarter than me, better looking than me, funnier than me. The ego can start making excuses, which is also lies, as to why this person hurt you. Okay? And that's where we're going. That is exactly where we're going in this lesson and in the part of healing. We're taking exactly what happened to you. Sorry, I just beat my thing. Exactly what happened to you, and then asking yourself what lies or excuse your ego told you to help you get through it, to help you heal. Because you really didn't heal. Your ego just made you stuff it. You stuffed it down. You told yourself a lie and moved on with your life. As soon as you believed the lie, that was it. Like, you moved on in your head. But in your heart, it's still there. And, your heart chakra is blocked with this little pain. So if you imagine your heart is like this, and every single time, I know your heart doesn't look like this, I'm just using, okay. So, and every single time, somebody hurts you, somebody, puts a Band-Aid here, and puts a Band-Aid here, and puts a Band-Aid here, suddenly your heart is completely blocked with Band-Aids. That's the same way we can look at the heart chakra. I'm a Reiki master, so I work with the heart chakra a lot. And of course, I worked on my own heart chakra. But if you can think of it that way, the energy that is in your heart is, if the Band-Aid of every bruise, every scar covered up your heart, you would literally not be able to exert any more energy from your heart. It would be blocked, right? And that's how energy works in your chakras. So when somebody hurts you, your ego makes the excuse, puts the Band-Aid on the wound, and then your person, your body moves on with your life, right? Your brain moves on, your heart it moves on with the rest of it. That there's still a blockage on that energy. So once you block all of your positive heart chakra energy, guess what happens in the very end? Once it's all completely blocked, you're no longer able to love. And then you're emotionally unavailable. You are not able to love anymore. And that's not really a good place to be, especially if you're in your late 30s or early 40s and you've got the rest of your life to live by yourself. And it's even going to be worse when you hit, 50 and 60 and you don't have the energy to date anymore. You're going to be alone, 90 and alone. So I'm here to help you heal from all of that crap right now so you can live your best life and not be alone and learn how to love. But the key to all of that and the being emotionally available to find Mr. or Mrs. Right and to really love fully another person, the key to it is healing. If you don't heal the wounds of your heart by literally writing it down, crying it out, set a lighter to that bad boy and stick it in a bucket or an urn or something that's fireproof. Don't go setting your houses on fire, people. Set it on fire. Watch it burn. And while it's burning, feel it leave your body. Feel it. It's sort of like it's an exorcism of that negative energy that's blocking your heart. And you will never be able to love yourself. You cannot love yourself if you don't heal. So let's go back to example. Let's start example number 2. You are sick of the cycles, right? So you write down all of the things of everything that has hurt you in your life. And, let's just say there's 5 things that are family, a couple of things that are friends, and the rest are your husband or your boyfriends if you've never been married, or an ex-husband, right? Okay, so let's just list them all down. Now, you have to get from recognizing what the ego told you, recognizing the lie the ego told you, and stop the cycle. How do you stop the cycle? Otherwise, the list is going to keep going and going and going. And every month, you'll have to whip out your piece of paper. And because if you don't stop the cycle, the list will never end, right? Because tomorrow, somebody could hurt you again. The next day, next week, next month, the next year, somebody's going to hurt you again. So what you do to stop the cycle is after you've healed, and please, don't go running off into relationships, jumping into relationships before you complete this process, okay? Because that's when the list keeps going and going and going. You literally have to stop. Stop dating, stop seeing people, get off Tinder, get off Match.com. My girls are upstairs laughing. Get off all of the dating apps, okay? They're not gonna, once you're going through the process of healing, everybody's gonna turn you off. You're not even gonna be attracted to the next guy that he could be, I don't care who he is, Tom Cruise. You're not even gonna be attracted to him because you're so focused on you. Once you start going through the healing process, nobody's attractive. Everybody's just ugly because every one of them are a turnoff. And I'm speaking from experience, people, okay? So everybody is a turnoff. Nobody's attractive. Nobody's going to suit you. You start learning yourself, and once you start learning yourself and loving yourself for who you really are, you start looking at your gifts. You start focusing on, what you wanted to do since you were a little kid with your life. You start focusing on your divine talents, what God gave you that you're good at, because God gave all of us something we're good at. Most people got onto the rat race, got onto that hamster wheel when they were 18 years old or right out of college, 24, and started working, and they're only doing what they're doing because that was the college degree they got. When really, maybe they wanted to be a musician, maybe they wanted to be a public speaker, but really they're in some government office typing all day and dealing with government contracts, which is rather boring. But anyway, you get my point. Everybody has a divine gift, and most of us jumped on that hamster wheel because that's what our parents told us to do, and started running, and we couldn't get off of it. So that's another chapter. All right, so going back to the healing process, the first thing that you're going to do when you get to this point is establish boundaries. You might not say them, but you've always known your boundaries. But what happens is, and ladies that have been through abusive relationships, or maybe in a relationship with a narcissist, and men, I'm sorry, don't mean to go that route, but men too, women can be narcissists. If you've been in abusive relationships, emotionally, physically, financially, mentally, any type of abusive relationship, male or female, you're going to notice something about yourself. And what that is you're going to notice you thought you had boundaries, but somewhere along the line, you stopped loving yourself more and more and more from all of the bad things that kept happening to you. And you started to either hate yourself or loathe yourself, or you just didn't care anymore. You didn't care. You lost all your values. You just didn't care. You date anybody. Whoever stepped up, and it didn't matter, they could be, a convicted felon. You just date anybody. And when you get to that point, you realize, in the healing process, you realize obviously if you broke up or that relationship ended, you look back and you're like, I really have no idea why I dated that person. I really don't know what I was thinking. And when you have that epiphany moment, your ego says, oh, well, I was connected to them and I felt all emotional about it. And you're like, yeah, that's my ego. That's definitely sounds like an excuse, because I was the girl, straight up, I was the girl 25 years ago that would raise hell, get physical, do whatever I had to do to convince a friend of mine not to be with an abusive person. And then 20 years later, I was with one. And I mean, in that context, I'm talking physical, financial, emotional. And some of the people that I grew up with would testify to that. If you so much as called me a B word, you were getting dumped. And that was my values. That's who I am. Somewhere along the line, I lost that, because the husband that I was just with called me way, way worse than that. Okay? And that marriage is over. So that whole thing catapulted me onto this journey, which is why I'm making you this video right now. Okay, so what are your boundaries? Is it okay for you in your mind? Don't let your super ego jump in and start judging things, okay? But true to you, one person might not think it's that big of a deal to date an ex-felon or a felon, right? I don't think that's ex-felon. It's just a felon. One person might think it's okay to be with somebody that disrespects them and calls them a cunt or a whore. The next person might not. What are your boundaries? What are you willing and not willing to put up with? Okay?